So welcome back, and on today's show, Politically Correct, we've been discussing everything from political correctness to politics. Now joining us in the studio is PR Director Paola Berta. Welcome, Paola.
Hello.
And as well as Paola, we have a little friend right next to you.
Yes.
Why do you have a sheep with you?
Well, she's my mascot. It's a present of a friend of mine, and is very significant for the name of my company, which all started from a sheep starring in a film, and then we gave the name of Sheepish Productions and then Sheepish PR. So, you know, I have this mascot with me.
So now we understand. It's okay. Your mascot is welcome, as are you. So you originally studied law.
Yes.
And then became an actress and then moved into film and fashion PR. How did that happen?
Law is just something I took up when I was very young, just after the high school. I needed to study something in university, and I went to study law, which I actually had to say I didn't finish it. So I'd done like a lot of exams, like almost 4 years, and so 13 plus exams, so it's quite a lot, out of 21. So let's say I have a mini degree in law, and after that, I moved to London after a break in Canterbury, and I retrained in musical theatre. That's what I developed my passion for at that time, and so I studied acting and dancing and singing, and I took this diploma in musical theatre. And then after that, I started doing a little bit of acting here and there. And after that, I started making movies. Like when you are an actress, other actors ask you to cooperate and make short films or challenges, and that's how I ended up making movies. And when you have a movie, even if it's a short film or music video, you want to promote that movie. And so I started getting into film PR because I needed to promote my movie, and then a music video I did for a friend of mine. So basically that's how it developed. I started making an event to promote the movie, and people came, some celebrity turned up in a very small venue. So it became quite popular, this little screening in a little venue in central London. And that's how we went through in a very, very underground way. No,
but that's great, because then you kind of made your own way. So when you didn't see that it was happening, you didn't stop. You just like, I'm going to make my own PR company. I love that.
And then from that, other people asked me if I could promote their movie, independent movies. They were in Cannes at the film festival. So I started having premieres, bigger premieres, with like 200 people in attendance. That was very, very much fun for me, at that time I was really enjoying dealing with all those people coming along, and actors, musicians, all sorts of performers were attending, and celebrities were coming along, and so I really, that's how it started, basically.
That's great. So,
and then from the actual PR, the real thing is, it was a very slow process. I'd done a lot of events. Many events promoting actors, and the pre-Cannes event, till I got the opportunity to promote actually people, because people started to contact me because I built up the connections, and they were telling me, can you help me to promote my book? Can you help me to promote my movie?
So it sounds so you've worked in PR, obviously, for a number of years, and now you're starting to do celebrity PR. So obviously that doesn't always mean doing PR just for somebody who's already famous, but making someone famous. So what goes into that? How do you make someone famous?
Well, it's someone, first of all, as a PR, someone has to be suitable to go for celebrity PR. So it has to be a person that already has some elements that can be marketed to be a celebrity. So it's not for everybody. If the person has those elements, then we can start discussing it. So the person can be a brand, can be an individual, can be a singer, can be an entrepreneur. Can be really, doesn't quite matter the profession, but obviously someone, for example, is I don't know, if someone, for example, is an electrician, let's say, which, I mean, is a very, very, very decent job, but that an electrician PR, unless it's someone that does dancing in pop video aside, I need to have something.
So what kind of the elements that you're referring to, what are they?
It has to be someone that has, for example, an exceptionally young person with already making a lot of money. So that's something that the person is like an IQ or particularly skilled or talented or whatever happened to him or had luck. So that could be like a very high-profile entrepreneur that nobody knows him, but he's already a very high level in the business side of things. So that's a kind of person. Or could be an actor that is already very, very well established in the London scenario, in the Fringe, for example. Someone that's done all the time, they're doing a lot of many plays, and also many independent films, but didn't quite get the break. So it's not quite getting there. Yeah. So it's not published on the magazines, so you don't see them out, but they have everything in place to actually be like the celebrities. So this is the kind of people that you can work with a little push and they can do the step up, So other people could be, for example, very young models, like some model 16 or already signed with big agencies and so going out and about, or a young footballer already, you can tell that is going up.
Do you think social media has obviously played a great part in PR and helping people push people forward already?
Yeah, social media is very important. If you have more than 10K followers on Instagram, already it's someone naturally. They had to be natural, those followers.
Well, I'm out then. I think
because if you paid someone like those followers are like robots, then it's not quite the same. If naturally you have 10K followers, that means the people have an interest of you. 10K plus, let's say, That means there's something about that, If you paid for them, it's not the same.
Okay.
Yes, they can. I learned that last week.
I mean, it's good. It's a good presentation when someone sees, this person's got 100K followers on Twitter. But okay, it looks good when someone sees them on the first spot. But then, if they're not real, those followers, I'm not saying you shouldn't pay. It's a good presentation when someone sees that. There's nothing wrong with that. But if they're not real, there's something you can tell. Because then when you go on their pictures, they have very few likes. Sometimes people have 100K followers and maybe the picture they have 2, 3 likes, 5 likes, 10 likes. Like some of them have 50 followers. So you're wondering, all these followers, well, they're not existing, So they had to be like a conversation that's, you can tell when someone is, it's a genuine involved with the communities, with the crowd, or not really, That's very important,
Well, okay. Well, I've really enjoyed listening to you and everything you've been saying. A very busy lady indeed. But how important do you think it is for people in the public eye, to be politically correct?
I think it's important, but again, it depends from the profession you are in. So, for example, let's say, everybody knows if you are an artist, you don't need to be professionally correct, politically correct. If you are an artist, you don't need to be politically correct. Because as an artist, you can be a comedian, for example. So a comedian, they are lucky. They can say what they want, when they want, and people laugh at it because they are comedians and they are free to speak more than anybody else. And if you are any sort of artist, really, I think, think about Banksy, for example, to make a name, they are free to express it. They have an intention to express something. As an artist, it's your purpose. You have a purpose in what you say, it's fine, But let's say another type of career. Let's say you are a politician. So if you are a politician and you are not politically correct, that can be a problem because, you represent the community, for example. And all of a sudden, even if you are just coming out of your place, maybe you're coming out of the parliament, could be, for example. Yeah. So you're not in actually working at the moment, but you are out in your private life, maybe, taking a McDonald's takeaway, or whatever, It doesn't matter. So, but you're not working, but someone hear you, or like you insult a cab driver, whatever you may be right or not for your anger to the driver, or whatever, or can be plenty of things. You may be rude for whatever reason. People see that, and then they will comment. They will say, "Oh, that person, that politician, is rude, or he has issue. He has, maybe it was just a moment, But that obviously, if you are that kind of role, they are very limitative. They're very strict. You have to have a certain, behavior and. Yes, it's a career that's very, you're really committed. You have to be careful anything, how you move, how you dress, because people get an opinion of you for every little thing. Not like if you are an artist, that's. So if you are like an entrepreneur, you get more freedom, but still you gotta be careful. Like, for example, if you are someone that you made a lot of money, I wouldn't be too arrogant in public or on Twitter, because, people at the end of the day, I'm talking about generally, they like nice people. Nobody like a person that is not nice.
Most of the time, true.
Nobody like to hear, "Oh, you're poor sods," like comments like that. I made money in 2 years, you worked 20 years, I got more money than you. This kind of comments, for instance, that they're gonna have an idea that the person is really arrogant, or they're not thinking before they're speaking, or they're not kind, or they're not nice. So you don't need to be like nice up to a level on Twitter where you result so fake, but more, also having a bit of common sense, I would say, like on the social media, like not being too rude, I wouldn't, because then the people make an idea of you that you're not really kind or very nice, and then it's also dangerous for you, for what I see nowadays going on in general, people.
You were talking about movies as well, and actors and so on. My question is, how much are the sales of a film and fashion labels affected by public perception?
Well, the public perception is very important because a film, to be successful, has to be liked by the public. At the end of the day, the public, like for TV, you make TV, so you must know this, if the people don't watch a movie, don't go to watch a movie, either they download it online or they go to the cinema, the movie is not going to be successful, and so it is very important that the movie is liked by the public. So it is very important. Now, what are the elements that a public may like? The movie is another story, but...
You have spoken so much about and given us so information that we have actually run out of time, but thank you so much, Paola. It was really insightful. Thank you so much. So we're going to take a short break, but don't go away, as we'll be back with more on Politically Correct and our style segment with Jessica Ann.